What happens when a man finally escapes the system and becomes something worse than the thing he ran from? Imagine a guy who can't sleep. His life is just a loop of coffee stains, traffic, and furniture catalogs. Every day feels like a dress rehearsal for a funeral. He's disappearing inside his own life. Then, he meets Tyler, a man who says the things nobody dares to whisper. A man who turns pain into freedom and violence into therapy. Suddenly, men who felt invisible finally feel alive. But here's the terrifying part. What starts as liberation turns into a cult. What starts as finding yourself ends with you shaving your head and following orders without a name. The man preaching freedom? He's the ultimate puppet master. And he's pulling the strings of the very mind that created him. This is Beyond the Villain, where we unmask evil, one story at a time. This is part 3 of Arc 10, The Psychology of Control. We're stepping out of the shadows of soul reapers and knights to look at a very modern monster. From the movie Fight Club played by Brad Pitt, and this is the third David Fincher's villain we have covered, following Amy Dunn and John Doe. We're examining Tyler Durden. He didn't just reject society, he weaponized the emptiness inside it. Tyler Durden is the logical extreme of nihilistic anti-consumerism. He represents the ultimate psychological trap, the belief that destroying your life is the same thing as owning it. He shows us that when you remove identity to gain freedom, you don't find peace. You just create a vacuum for a new, more violent form of control to move in. Before we begin, if you want to support Beyond the Villain, you can check out my Patreon or buy me a coffee. Links are in the description below. Now let's begin the unmasking. Tyler Durden didn't just show up, he was summoned. The narrator represents the modern crisis of self. He's a guy who defines his soul by the IKEA furniture in his apartment. He's trapped in a world of hyper-consumerism, where every emotion is mediated through a product. He's exhausted, isolated, and completely emasculated by a corporate culture that doesn't need him to be a person. It just needs him to be a consumer. When Tyler appears, he is everything the narrator isn't. He's confident, sexual, violent, and utterly indifferent to what people think. This is narcissistic projection. Tyler is the Ubermensch for the cubicle worker. People follow Tyler for the same reason they follow cult leaders: certainty. In a world where everything is maybe, and it depends, Tyler speaks in absolutes.
Now you fucking khakis.
That sounds like a revelation when you've been told your whole life that you are your job. Fight Club starts as a way to feel real through pain. It's a primal reaction to a numb world. But look at the psychological shift. It moves from, I want to feel something, to, I want to destroy everything. Tyler moves the goalposts from self-help to Project Mayhem. He starts stripping away names. He starts enforcing space monkey rules. He takes a group of men who were tired of being cogs in the machine and turns them into cogs in a different machine. The irony is staggering. He tells them they are the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world to free them from ego, but then he uses that lack of ego to make them expendable soldiers. He didn't break their chains, he just changed who was holding the leash. Tyler Durden operates on a twisted version of nihilism mixed with anarcho-primitivism. He believes that civilization is a waiting room that has made us soft and fake. His solution is hitting bottom. He believes that only through total destruction can we find the true self. Tyler's philosophy is deeply influenced by a distorted reading of existentialism. He wants to strip away the artificial to find the authentic. But Tyler's version of authenticity is just destruction. He hates consumerism, but his revolution is just consumerism in reverse. Instead of buying things to feel special, his followers destroy things to feel special. It's still an identity based on external actions rather than internal growth. Tyler understands social identity theory perfectly. He knows that if you give people a common enemy, the system, and a uniform, black clothes, shaved heads, they will give up their individuality in a heartbeat. Tyler doesn't control people with a whip. He controls them with belonging. He offers them a family, a purpose, and a God. And since he is a figment of the narrator's imagination, he is the ultimate intrusive thought. He is the voice in your head that tells you that if you just burned it all down, you'd finally be happy. The biggest threat to Tyler Durden isn't the police or the corporate bosses. It's Marla Singer. Marla is the counter-philosophy of the movie. She is just as broken as the narrator, but she doesn't need to blow up buildings to deal with it. She's messy, she's real, and she's vulnerable. Tyler hates Marla because Marla requires the narrator to be a human being. Human beings have feelings, they get hurt, and they have responsibilities. Tyler is a performance. He is a myth. The narrator's journey is realizing that Tyler's freedom is actually a flight from reality. You don't get better by becoming a superhuman anarchist. You get better by admitting you're a lonely guy who needs to talk to a girl. The liberation Tyler offers is just a way to avoid the hard work of actually being a person. We see Tyler Durden's fingerprints all over the modern world. Tyler is the patron saint of the alienated young man. We see his rhetoric in online communities that trade in rage and resentment. These groups promise the truth, or the red pill, claiming to wake you up from a fake society. But just like Project Mayhem, these movements often end up being more restrictive than the world they reject. They demand absolute conformity to a new set of alpha rules. They replace the corporate drone with the ideological drone. We see this in hustle culture and aggressive minimalism. The idea that if you just suffer enough, work out enough, or own few enough things, you will finally be free. It's the same psychological mechanism, using external extremes to quiet internal emptiness. Tyler Durden is the personification of the rebellious impulse that lacks a moral compass. It's the desire to do something without knowing why. Here is the question we have to face. If a man like Tyler Durden walked up to you tonight and told you that your life was a lie, that your job was meaningless and your possessions were a cage, would you listen? Most of us would. Because he's right about the problem. Tyler is a compelling villain because his critique of society is accurate. We are distracted. We do buy things we don't need. We are lonely. The trap is thinking that because he's right about the problem, he must be right about the solution. Tyler Durden is the final boss of the psychology of control because he is a part of us. He is the shadow that tells us that the only way to be free is to be heartless. He's the one who tells you that your empathy is a weakness and your name doesn't matter. So, would you follow him? Or would you have the courage to stay insignificant and weak in a world that demands you be a god or a slave? So how do we kill our own Tyler Durden? 1. Own your meaning. Don't let a corporation define your worth, but don't let a rebellion define it either. Identity is something you build, not something you buy or burn. 2. Accept vulnerability. Tyler's strength was a shield for the narrator's pain. Real strength is the ability to sit with your own emptiness without needing to fill it with distractions or chaos. 3. Beware of simple answers. If someone tells you that the world is simple and they have the only solution, they are trying to control you. Real life is complex, messy, and lacks a charismatic narrator. The narrator finally beats Tyler by taking responsibility. He shoots himself in the mouth, metaphorically killing the voice in his head, and chooses to stay in reality, even if that reality is a city falling down around him. He chooses a real connection with Marla over the fake power of Tyler. Tyler Durden represents the logical end of rebellion without responsibility. He is a warning that the most dangerous form of control isn't the one that comes from the government or the corporation. It's the one that comes from your own desire to escape the burden of being yourself. Tyler wasn't free. He was a slave to his own rage. He was a prisoner of his own myth. The truth is, the most terrifying villains don't look like monsters. They look like the best version of you. They offer you the world, and all they ask in return is your name. So, here's the question. Is Tyler Durden a monster who destroyed a man's life? Or is he a mirror that reflects the parts of us we're too afraid to acknowledge? If you found Tyler Durden's business card in your pocket tomorrow, would you call the number? This has been Beyond the Villain, where we unmask evil, one story at a time. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to get the latest unmasking of every villain and check out my other videos. Thank you for watching, and peace.